Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 7. Again, written by Jim Shooter, drawn by Mike Zeck. And this cover is actually kind of interesting when I look at it. By the way, this is, for those who aren't following along in the videos, this is the Secret Wars Collected Edition. But when I first saw this cover, I was kind of like, this is a little bit boring compared to the other covers. But the more I look at it, the more I actually kind of like this cover. I think the only thing that kind of bugs me is the pink background is a little bit odd. Everything else being kind of shaded in one color, kind of looking like little elements of what's going on in the book is really cool. And then this, honestly, when I kind of like re-saw this, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then for some reason, Captain America's eyes just look weird. I'm not sure why, but there's something off there. Otherwise, I actually kind of like this cover now. When I first read this, I didn't like it, but anyhow, jumping to this, so we're getting back into this, and this issue could be called Jim Shooter realizes he made a couple mistakes and he's gonna fix them, because that's essentially what happens here. I think the biggest weakness of this issue to me personally is this kind of forced introduction of Spider-Woman. This being the weird late 80s Spider-Woman, not Chris Claremont's Spider-Woman. I mean, it's okay. What's sort of interesting is, like, casually, Jim Shooter explains that a suburb of Denver has been kind of dropped into this planet and sucked into it. And that's where Spider-Woman comes from. And that's where those two random ladies from before, where we were kind of like, where the hell did these two come from? They're actually from that suburb in Denver. So Titania and Volcania originally came from Denver, somewhere in Denver. I don't know. Maybe from Mile High Comics. But anyhow, yeah, this forced introduction of Spider-Woman is probably the weakest part about this issue that I don't really like. I mean, it's okay, and there's some funnies in here with Spider-Man making comments and everything. Where it gets really good is in this part. This feels a little bit off in perspective, but maybe that's just me. But anyway, yeah, so the Wrecking Crew tosses the dead body of Wasp after they shot her through the boobs in the last issue. And the Avengers are basically, they take her over to Saji, the X-Men, cannon-breaking healer, and she walks away because she's basically dead as a doorknob. I love the art by Mike Zeck here with She-Hulk. Like, you can kind of feel She-Hulk kind of propel through these panels and just see in the body language how much she cares and how much she's in shock over the death of her friend. So, yeah, right away, right here, they all want to get revenge. Captain America says, no, we got to take a look at Galactus. And you can just see She-Hulk kind of walking off here. And this is, again, so the master at drawing She-Hulk is definitely John Byrne. But Mike Zeck in Secret Wars, he actually draws a pretty good She-Hulk. I was pretty, impressed with She-Hulk in the art in this series. We go back to the X-Men. They end up intercepting the crew that they kind of shanked in the last issue, and meanwhile Volcana gets teleported over to them to help because she's worried about Molecule Man, and Enchantress is just being Enchantress. What's kind of funny is the interpretation of Enchantress in Secret Wars and the very different interpretation of Enchantress in I wouldn't say different, but personality wise it feels a little bit off between the two when Walt Simonson has her in his Thor issues. I was just kind of noticing that when I was going back on looking at Thor 341 and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, the X-Men ambush them and we get into a big fight. Rogue gets punched in the face again. My goodness. And then we get some more Magneto bashing by Jim Shooter, which kind of makes it very interesting for the later issues by Chris Claremont. But anyway, yeah, they go back and forth, and this is really Xavier being his first time as a field general, and it ends up not working out particularly great. Oh, by the way, I love this. This is a great panel right here. I love how Wolverine just casually freaking disarms this dude. Yeah, no, this is I mean, other than the opening, which was odd to me, this is a great issue. I had a lot of fun, a lot of stuff going on right here. Anyhow, the X-Men end up kind of fighting to a draw, and Xavier kind of spins it off as oh, but we were victorious because we're still alive. And Storm, meanwhile, on the inside is like, yeah, sure we are. And yeah, here's another funny one. We got Doom back on Galactus' spacecraft. He's kind of messing around, trying to find something right now. Galactus is finishing his work, and then this panel right here is great, where he just sort of like looks over here like, the fuck is going on here? What's going on in my spacecraft? And then Dr. Doom basically gets Felicia out of the spacecraft. And then Galactus just goes along his merry way. There's like, I have like a lot of enjoyment out of Mike Zeck's just sort of one-shot panels as it goes through. So they come back. Molecule Man's basically really jacked up, and Volcana is just screaming at everyone to help him, etc., etc. But Doom isn't there to order Ultron. Enchantress just doesn't really care because they're annoying mortals. You get a pretty funny scene here with Absorbing Man trying to reattach his arm. And then they put the lizard into a cage. This is where it gets very interesting. So one of the Wrecking Crew, I believe this is... God, what's his freaking name? Bulldozer, yeah. Bulldozer kind of walks over to go take a nap, and he finds a freaking huge-ass hole in the wall. And who comes out of it? It's She-Hulk. And she proceeds to beat the crap out of him. And also the rest of the Wrecking Crew while he's at it. Titania comes over to check it out, and she finds her just giving the business to the Wrecking Crew. And they get into a fight, but She-Hulk kind of underestimates Titania, and they get the jump on him. Meanwhile, Doom comes back, and Doom's basically nuked. Like, I actually love these two panels right here. Just complete and utter defeat for Dr. Doom. It feels great when you consider the rest of Secret Wars too. Like, Secret Wars gets like, there's like a dip, and I would say like issues, like the end of issue 2 through like 5-ish is kind of rough, honestly. And starting from like 6 going on up, like Secret Wars gets like really good, at least in my opinion, from 6 on up and through. Like, honestly, in hindsight, if you kind of think about it, like, Jim Shooter probably shouldn't have made this a 12-issue series. I honestly think, like, if you would have made this, like, 9 or 8 issues, it would have been, like, perfect. And probably would have, like, forced him to be a little more clean in his storytelling. I think Secret Wars would have held up a little better. I mean, it's still great, but, like, compared to, like, you know, Crisis on Infinite Earths, it's not really, like, that level of great. But anyhow, like, She-Hulk, you know, tables are turned and she's getting the crap beat out of her. I like this panel, even though, like, you can see, like, the pain and the emotion right here. These guys are all pretty much bloodthirsty. We go back to the Avengers. They're telling Captain America, hey, She-Hulk left. We got to go do something about it. Captain America's just being Captain America. But the rest of them are, like, pretty pissed off and they want some vengeance. And then you get this side plot right here where the healer leaves a hut and then she falls down ill with Colossus picking her up. But really the important part here is the X-Men finally being heroes. So Xavier contacts Captain America, says, hey, we'll come and pick up the slack and keep an eye on Galactus for you. You go do what you need to do. And it's a little out of the open, I will say this. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense based on what happened previously, why Xavier would do this. But it does, in a sense, like, from a reader's perspective, you want it just because you want the heroes to be heroes. But plot-wise, you know, there's a little bit of disconnect right here in Xavier's actions. But nevertheless, you know, you get what you want, which is moving to this freaking iconic issue, which we'll go over next time. But overall, great issue. Kind of starts off weird, because Jim Shooter's kind of like fixing some mistakes he did in previous issues, but ends up like rising really well and coming down to a point where you get, you know, pretty good resolution of where the story's going from here. Overall, exciting and fun issue. Anyhow, let's get to the art. So, my disease came back, and that's the disease of not being able to draw She-Hulk correctly. Oh, man. So, the problem here, and so this is She-Hulk. She just beat the crap out of Bulldozer, and here's Wrecker, Thunderball, and oh crap, what the heck was it? Pile Driver? Yeah, Pile Driver. Man, yeah, I don't read enough like Avengers and Spider-Man, I guess. But here's the problem, right? So this is like her head, like size right here. So So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, sure, her body's way too short. And I don't know why I did this. Like, I feel like I drew this like 4 times and I still made the same mistake. So yeah, her legs need to be longer and her torso needs to be longer. That's what, when I look at this, like yeah, it needs to extend down. Like her like body needs to be like this long, and then her legs need to be like more like that long, or like something like that. In order for this to make sense. To be fair, she is kind of splitting the legs, so she's not going to be at full, tall height. The other thing I was supposed to do is I was supposed to draw a damn background, but I got so involved and pissed off at myself when I was drawing this figure that I forgot about the background, and by that time I didn't put like a perspective grid or anything like that to help me out with the background, so I was like, that's why like this perspective doesn't look, exactly correct. Like if I should have drawn a background and then this would have been better. But, overall, the only thing I'm happy about in any of this is, like, I kind of like the facial expression I made with her. And for some reason, I like her hair. I think I want to try doing hair more like this. But, yeah, the body's not correct. She's too short. She needs to be, like, taller or longer in the legs or something like that. The second panel with these guys kind of, like, shocked. This actually wasn't too bad. The only thing I don't like is I didn't do Thunderball right. This kind of perspective with his head tilting back just doesn't seem right. I don't think the expression's very right either, but Wrecker's correct. I like this, and I like Pile Driver. This is pretty good right here. Though I think I made his shoulder kind of tiny right here. I need to like it should like extend out of the panel instead. But yeah, it's okay. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and this is an area where yeah, I'm gonna have to take this L and figure out how to do this better next time. Anyhow, that's the issue. Let me know what you think. If you like this issue, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. Got any comments about Secret Wars issue number 7 or this art? Leave it down below, and I will see you next time.